What is up, everybody? It's game week. Pretty jazzed up over here. Boys are pretty fired up. It is game week. Huskers are coming at you in 48 hours. It's a Tuesday night. It's August 26th. I'm David. I am here with my brother, Andrew. The vibes are extremely high, about as high as they've been all off season. We are at an absolute fever pitch on the vibes, on the hype train, on the Koolaid. It literally could not get any higher. Andrew, how are we feeling on this Tuesday night?
I'm starting to get the pregame jitters, which is a great feeling that I haven't had in a while. Where you start looking into their team, you start looking into yours a little bit more, and we're going to expose everything that we've got and stuff in the next 45 minutes or so. But yeah, where your palms start sweating a little bit, the heart rate starts going just when you're like reading stats and like, oh shoot, this Brendan Sorsby can run, and then you just getting into game mode. It's good.
Yeah, game mode is happening. I mean, but the fact that we get, I cannot like wait any longer. And the fact that we get a Thursday game, what a blessing, what an opportunity, because waiting till Saturday was just not going to, I wasn't going to make it there. And now I've basically this whole week's shot anyways, but then it's like Thursday night, we get a game. Friday, you're just going to be rewatching the game over again. And then Saturday, we get to enjoy in peace and quiet.
Just watch everybody else live.
Yeah, stress-free and watch a bunch of marquee games while not having stress about it. So, vibes are here. Games week is here. We got Arrowhead, Husker home game, Cincinnati. We got to get into it. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I am up to my eyeballs in content. I've just been, I don't even know. I mean, I want to say I don't know what got into me, and then I'm like, no, wait, I've been doing this for 15 years. Like, this is what I do. But I am very, very deep in very deep in Cincinnati right now. Got a lot to talk about. So let's jump in.
Need it.
Shall we?
Yeah.
We also had big like kind of crazy week in a lot of different categories. Yeah. Travis Kelce's engaged, which is, major news, but he's a Cincinnati guy. So I hope he's at the game, and I hope we can spoil it for him.
I've got some hot takes on
moves there. We got black shirts. We'll talk about black shirts. We'll talk about captains. But first, I think before we even kick off, should we talk about your big news in Maryland?
Yeah. Let's do it. So I have not done this before, but I was inspired by Honky, who was recently on our podcast from Go Big Redcast, and he said, yeah, you should go for it. And I applied for a press pass at Maryland, and they did no vetting, and they just said, yeah, you can come on down. That's fine. There will be so many Nebraska reporters. Why don't you just join them? I said, yeah, that's where I belong. That's where I need to be. I've worked my whole life for this. I've been doing this platform for 15 freaking years, and we've never had a press pass. It's time. So I'm doing it, and it's going to be awesome.
Press pass coming at you, a sideline pass. It's right where we should be. It's right where we should be. We're the number one most followed Husker fan account across social media, almost 200,000 followers. We should be. We should be right there on the sidelines. That'll be awesome. Yes. We're going to have a great time. That's going to be a fun one. So Maryland.
Sekou Stadium, I think it's called. Maybe it's Siku. Could be Siku. I don't know. That's their stadium. But
whatever it is, it's going to be.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's awesome.
Sipple, Mitch Sherman, McEwen, and Husk guys, which makes no sense at all to be there. But it's going to be fun.
We're going to be buddies. Just chowing on crab cakes with Steve Sipple is going to be a highlight of my life.
Iconic. All right. Let's talk Cincinnati. So, I spent a lot of time deep in enemy territory in Cincinnati side, listening to their podcasts, reading their message boards, reading their tweets, fighting with their fans. Their fans are very scrappy. They like to fight, which we like to too, and I like to fight too. So it's good. So we had some fun on Twitter. Vibes are very, very low in Cincinnati,
interesting,
which is sort of interesting. But I also think, and I run into this quite a bit. I mean, we run into this basically against every fan base that we run up against. Their fan base is not very big. Like, I just haven't thought about Cincinnati I don't know. I paid attention lightly when Fickle was there, and I really wanted Fickle to come here, and thank God he didn't, because Wisconsin might not make a bowl game, which is crazy. But they just don't have a lot of fan interest. There's not a lot of juice there. There's not I tweeted this, and I sort of just did it offhand, but I was literally trying to find podcasts talking about Cincinnati football. There's 3 of them. Yeah. We've got hundreds, which is, you could argue we're all losers. Maybe. Fine. That's fine. Fine and accurate.
Fine.
But
take a shot.
There is no shortage of Husker fans that are passionate enough to talk about the team. and like the local radio guys don't talk about the team. The local fans don't talk about the team. There's no articles about it. Like almost every Cincinnati preview out there is written by a Husker writer, like one of our 9 writers or 15 beat writers that we have. Like it's just always striking to me, like when we play teams like Northwestern or Cincinnati or any of these teams that like don't have anybody writing for them or talking about them. It's sort of like
important to recognize that the Nebraska ecosystem is not normal. Like we have entire websites, blogs, podcasts, newspaper sections. I mean, like the coverage of the team. I can't really imagine being, I guess, as much of a fan for other teams, just like without the information that we are exposed to. So, yeah, that's good for you for going out and finding it, though.
Well, it's weird, and what a lot of the fans were fighting is I was just like, there's just no information out there on Cincinnati football. They're like, yeah, because we have the Bengals and the Reds, and we're busy. We have all this stuff, and you're like, fine, I get it. Like, you have the Bengals, but like, I don't know if you're a Cincinnati fan. It's just a weird. They're like they play on different days. Like I don't even understand that argument. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, but then I would say, regardless of like there not being a whole lot of interest, like that doesn't matter when Illinois and Minnesota and Northwestern beat us the last 3 years. Like they have no real fans and they still beat us. We still got to beat them on the field. What I was kind of going way back on Cincinnati because I have followed them over time. Like they've had a very interesting career where like they've basically where major coaches have made a name for themselves. They launched the career of Mark D'Antonio back in 04, 05, 06. They launched the career of Brian Kelly. He did extremely well there. He won 10, 11, 12 games a year and then, lost the Sugar Bowl, played in the Orange Bowl. They had Butch Jones before he went to Tennessee. They launched, they had Tommy Tuberville, and then they had Luke Fickell, who did extremely well there, winning 11 games multiple times. And so I think they've won 10 plus games 10 times in the last 18 years. They've won 11 games 6 times in the last 18 years. Like they've done really well as a program. But then what's interesting, now they've moved to the Big 12. They've been there the last 2 seasons. They got Scott Satterfield, and he's 8-16 his first 2 years. Started 3-9 2 years ago, 5-7 last year. And then of the podcasts that I was able to find, of the people talking about him, he's on the hot seat. He's like he's got to make he's playoff, or he has to make a bowl game or bust is basically where he's at.
I'm glad you fast.
So that's kind of I guess, and that seems to be where the vibes are. Like there is no one going to the bowl game, or there's no one going to the Arrowhead. There's no one going to the game. And they're kind of like apathetic, if I were to best describe it. So I think that's kind of interesting.
It is interesting because like they actually could be a solid team for reasons that we'll get into. I mean, you have, a returning starting quarterback, which a lot of teams can't say that they would be excited about. They have a 3-time all-conference defensive tackle coming back. Like they've got some exciting pieces to go see. And I think their win total is, it's like 5.5. It's like right on the dot, like to go bowling and stuff, which is not exciting for a lot of people, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. They had like top 20 rushing offense and stuff. I mean, they have some things to like cheer for, I guess. But I think that they probably weren't excited about him to begin with. I mean, he was 4-7, 6-7, 7-5 at Louisville, and they're probably thinking like, and then Braum takes over there, and then he's got Louisville basically in contention for almost ACC titles. I think they won 9 or 10 games last year, so they're like, wait a sec. So Braum takes over there, and they go to new heights. He comes here, and this is the worst we've been in years. So I think that's a good point. The concerning trend.
Well, and that's what I think was interesting about Satterfield. And this is, to be clear, this is Scott Satterfield, not Marcus Satterfield. No relation to Marcus Satterfield. I had to look that up multiple times. I was like, that's crazy that there's 2 really average to below average coaches that are both at the major college level are not related. You'd think that'd be like a genetic thing. He was hot at App State, but that was 6 years ago now, when he was basically brought App State up from nothing and turned them into a 10-win program. And that's where he made his name. And then he was 25-24 in 3 seasons at Louisville, like 2 seasons without bowling, 4-7, 6-7, and 7-5 at Louisville. and then
Yeah.
3-9 and 5-7 at Cincinnati. So he's only won 7 games once in the last 5 seasons. So it's not exactly like a crushing.
Yeah.
And there's
And
nothing
the
to
other part
believe
of
year 3 is like the rule bump thing. It's kind of like he was not very good at Louisville.
And like Nebraska's off-season trajectory and stuff, like when you start acquiring talent, and stacking top 25 classes, like you can at least kind of have that in the back of your head, like, okay, we're getting talent on campus. Their 2-year transfer rank was 46th, and they had the 61st ranked high school recruiting class in Power 4, 55th overall over the last 5 years. So like they've got some dudes, they've got some guys.
Yeah.
They didn't exactly like load up from the portal. They didn't have a terrific high school class coming in. I could see why fans are getting a little apathetic. Like, why should we believe this is gonna turn around this year with even less talent than we had last year?
Well, it's less talent and playing a bigger league too. Now they're up in the Big 12, so this isn't this isn't their ability to just go in and win the American Conference every year for a decade, right? This is like
big time.
This is the big boys. This is Big 12 football. You're playing Big 10 crossover games. But it is, I mean, the Satterfield thing's interesting. Like everybody that I was seeing seems to think he's on the hot seat. And so that's, I think they're coming in with a lot more pressure on it. My not only concern, I have lots of concerns. We can talk about those. But I get concerned when everybody at Nebraska thinks we're going to blow them out. That's always like concerning for me. Is like when it's
a big mental hill to climb.
When there's like
obviously,
well, I'm saying like obviously me and you like are always parroting like we're gonna crush them. But like when I see like universally across like everybody's like, oh yeah, this is like a layup game. I'm like right. Like this is a team that beat Arizona State last year, who then went to the playoff. It was one of Arizona State's only losses. They started 5-2 last year. And they should have been 6-1. They blew a 3-touchdown lead to Pitt, so they should have been 6-1 to start. They basically 5-2, and then they lost 5 straight games. So very kind of similar trajectory to our season last year, where they just lost out the rest of the season, and we lost 5-6. They lost 5 straight. So I think they look at us and they're like, they also fell apart at the end of the season, right?
Right. Yeah. I think they have a solid, realistic fan base and stuff. And they also, just a random aside, the most comments on your post about like, gosh, there's so much more information from the podcast was about Skyline Chili, which is apparently a huge thing out there.
A lot of Skyline chili.
I looked into it and wow, they love this Skyline chili. It's good stuff. And they're basically going to hold that over us forever. It sounds like. I don't know if we're.
Yeah, I would say that my favorite comment was, I don't trust a podcast that's not sponsored by Skyline Chili, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I don't know what Skyline Chili is, but I appreciate that comment.
Hey, honestly, I've been saying it for years. Like, we need more chili, and we need more competitors in the market. But anyway, yeah, I think the vibe overall, like, there's a lot of. I mean, we're getting people picking us in the playoff. We're getting people picking us to win this game. We're getting the bettors are moving the line and trying to make us cover and everything. And I keep coming back to my overall vibe on the game gets a little jaded when I see that Vegas thinks this is a 1-possession game. Like, there's something because they're just so dang good at that it's hard to get over that mental hump a little bit. But yeah, let's get into the breakdown here a little bit.
Well, neutral, I think that's
at Arrowhead Thursday night. 62,000 tickets to Nebraska fans so far. It is going to be a home game. It is going to be absolutely raucous. It's going to be the biggest game of the night. There's 4 Big 10 games on Thursday night, and ours is definitely going to be the biggest draw. A lot of eyeballs on us. That's the good vibes. The bad vibes. Our record versus Power 5 teams in openers has been muy mal. Muy mal. Very bad. Minnesota in 2023, Ireland, Northwestern in Ireland in 2022, Illinois in 2021. All of those are coming rushing back in a flood of very many tears and tear-filled memories That was God. That's we're all not good. And then you lop on top of this in the background. Travis Kelce is supposed to be at this game. He's a Cincinnati alum with his brother, Jason, who is awesome and a party animal, and also a Cincy alum. And Travis got engaged to the most famous human on the entire planet today. I have no idea what that means for us. Are we getting in the way of an engagement party?
Which a lot of ways that can go. Could be a good luck charm for them, which would be disaster. Could be a major distraction,
Right.
Like maybe like
For
he comes
Cincinnati,
in,
like they're going to be so taken up by this.
yeah, like if they're at Cincinnati, like he goes to the sidelines and like all the players on the sidelines are like chatting up Taylor Swift
Mystified.
instead of paying attention, and they
Perfect.
like forget to go in on like kickoff coverage and stuff.
Perfect. Pop pass over the top.
See you later. It's like, or he like goes, he goes in the locker room and he brings he brings Taylor Swift in the locker room, and they like, it just blows their brains.
Actually crazy about this is like people are going to be watching a Nebraska football game.
Correct. Yeah.
To see Taylor Swift potentially. It's just the most mind-blowing. Like, I just want to watch football. I just want to watch the game. And like we're gonna have people like, where's Taylor? And I don't have.
It'll be interesting.
I don't even know if
she goes.
They're in the country.
It sounds like Mahomes is going, which is also going to be a nightmare for us. So God, we like.
There's so many side stories to this game.
So Mahomes story disaster.
Is that Mahomes playing quarterback or Dylan Raiola?
I mean, we need. I guess I'd like. It's like I'd love to tell. I'm so exhausted by the Mahomes Raiola thing, because he just gets like crushed on the internet and like kills me to like have to defend him constantly on the internet like that. But like, I want to be like, hey, can you just like tone it down like a tiny bit? Like maybe don't do
just like shave your beard before this game.
Yeah, just like maybe just get your own sunglasses and then maybe don't do. That's it. Just do the sunglasses and like you can keep the hair fine, but like maybe don't do the pregame thing where you do like the exact same pregame thing that he does. But then also like play like him, please.
But do play like him.
Like do the stuff on the field. Awesome. It'd be awesome if you threw 4 touchdowns and we're throwing sidearm across the field while diving.
Just no look passes to Dan Key would be amazing.
Yeah, but some of the other stuff, maybe just just
I know. So he had that quote the other day. He was like, "It's not my fault. God made him look like me, or something, or God made me look like him."
It's true.
It's like that is a very good point. Game
that part's true, but the sunglasses and
the curly hair and everything, like you can't help
sunglasses, the haircut, the headband, like all of it's a little much. Regardless,
things.
Mahomes will be there, which is good vibes for us, assuming he's on our side.
He's going to basically be another coach for us.
Will Compton will be there, so we got good vibes on our side, multiple directions. So we got a lot of good stuff. But let's talk. What's got me really concerned?
Yeah,
and a couple things. One, I guess I want to start with Cincinnati, but like, there's one thing that's been going around. Have you seen this? That we are not statistically, we are mathematically like the youngest team in the Big Ten. Have you seen this?
Yeah, which the future is bright, baby.
But I guess I didn't. Maybe that just didn't dawn on me that like that was a thing. But for me to find that out like 24 hours before the game was not ideal for me. I didn't sleep. It was why are we so young?
Had basically been ripped down to the studs 3 years ago, but a lot of those guys are, redshirted and they're still sophomores and they're coming on up. And
I guess I thought year 3 rule. A lot of them are redshirt sophomores, which means they're juniors.
Right. Yeah.
Which then I like, it's like Rail is a captain, which I think is amazing, but also he's a sophomore. So anyway, that stuff concerns me. But more so, what's more concerning, Brandon Sorsby. Sorsby is quarterback at Cincinnati, second year at Cincinnati. And then right before Cincinnati, was he at Indiana? Is that right?
Yeah.
He was somewhere. Transferred in. He could play. So big time numbers, big time gamer, run pass kid. Really tough kid. What's he, 4th year? In college, kind of big kid, runs,
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 235. and he can run. He had 9 rushing touchdowns last year.
Yeah, it runs kind of like
147 rushing
runs an
yards.
RPO. I watched basically like almost all his touchdowns from last year. Throws
Yeah.
a good deep ball, throws a good out route, like throws. I mean, he can run, he can scramble, he can get out of the pocket. So I think all of those. I think he had 18 touchdowns last year passing.
Mhm.
Those are all concerning. And I was watching him. I was like, shoot, this kid's a lot better than maybe I thought, based on like how confident everybody was going into the game. So he's. I'd put him on my number one most concerned component of it.
Yeah.
We got to stop this kid.
I think I different concern for us on defense versus them on offense. I think they're going to try and run the ball pretty much all night because they have 0 returning receiving talent. They have a bunch of like plug and play transfers.
Right.
One of their better transfers is from it's called like Lindwood or something. Lindenwood. I don't even know. Lindenmeyer. So a school I've never heard of, but I don't know. He's supposed to be pretty good. But anyway, Sorsby himself, like, he seems to actually thrive a little bit in the second half, which I don't want to keep it close against a team like that can like milk a clock and actually run it pretty well. They had an over 1,000-yard rusher last year. Sorsby rushed for another 447. They bring back one guy that averaged over 7.1 yards per carry. And then they bring in Tally Walker from Wisconsin. And I think they're going to see our defense and they're going to say, like, I think we're going to go right at the middle. And we're going to see if Riley Van Poppel and Elijah Judy, like, we're going to see what they're made of here.
Yep.
Positives for us there is their O-line is being remade. They have at least 3, I believe 4 new starters on the O-line. So this is their first game action all together. They lost their leading rusher from last year. Another positive for us there. And then the other thing about Sorsby that I looked into and found a positive, in his first 4 games last year, he never rushed. I'll back up. He only went over 50 yards rushing in 3 games. He had 7 games with less than 30 yards rushing. So he basically had a couple of like pop performances. Otherwise, it's more like, he's not like tremendously explosive. It's just that he can hurt you with his legs. Like, only over 50 yards in 3 games. That's not like tremendously scary. Like he's going to be, a run first kind of guy. It's just that like he can escape. He happens to be big and he will hurt you with his legs if you give him the room. But like, I think our defense can keep up with a guy like him. I think that like someone like Waneri with a 7-foot wingspan and, Keona Davis like can chase a guy like him down and we can contain him. And then our secondary happens to be the strength of the team. So I don't know that his passing numbers are going to be great. I'd be more worried about his legs and I'd be more worried about their rushing.
Yeah, I think it's all fair. And I think that, to me, it's like, all right, the book's out on him. He's 6-13 as a starting quarterback. So he's not a winner. He's not out there like, oh man, this kid just finds a way to win everywhere he goes. Like, if you're coaches, you're looking at those 13 losses that he's had in the last 2 seasons, and you're just like, all right, he was stopped 13 different times. Clearly he has these big games. He's thrown for 4,000 yards in his career, which is why
everybody else figured it out.
Yeah, it's like everybody else figured out. Like he's one of the top returning quarterbacks in the country because he's one of the few with 4,000 passing yards coming back, and he's got 700 rushing yards coming back. So he's almost this 5,000 yard guy coming back, which it's a lot of numbers. But right, it's 13 losses. He was 1-6 in Indiana, 5-7 last year. Like he's not. You find out. Watch those 13 games, figure it out. Like, and then also to your point, like, I mean, I think they literally have 0 wide receivers back, right? Isn't it quite literally 0?
Yeah, I think they brought in the leading.
He's got a tight end. He has a tight end coming back.
Yeah, the leading returning receiver from their team from last year had 3 catches for 22 yards. It's not many.
Yeah. Well, and so that's like
Joe Royer, their tight end was an All-American. I mean, and he was like a transfer from Ohio State, so he's got talent. So the tight end.
So you got to figure it's like
big dude to watch out for.
Figure out those 13 games. force him to run, force him to get out of the pocket, force him to do whatever. And then he just doesn't have a safety net. He doesn't have anybody that he's used to throwing to. He doesn't have that third down back. He's got to figure out all these new guys. It's game one for him. It's Arrowhead. It's 66,000 Nebraska fans. I'm concerned because it's like he can play, but also it's like, we beat Shedeur Sanders, a future, 6th round draft pick and number, fourth string guy for the Browns. That's pretty big time. We were able to take Shedeur. But the book's out. You got to figure it out. The fact that they have no receivers, tight ends, running backs, an interesting thing, like just with Walker back there. And then at tight end, it's like, all right, putting on.
To see what we end up doing. Like, I think that's going to end up being the big battle, is like the only like true advantage on paper that they might have is going to be running the ball like at the middle of our defense. But I just don't know that we have like put the middle of our defense on paper quite yet. I mean, like Riley Van Poppel redshirted last year. So this is his moment to step up and kind of like take the reins here a little bit. So I feel actually pretty good about that. And I definitely feel good about our secondary versus their just like, ragtag bunch of receivers that they just like called up this last summer and threw them all together. They're literally from like all over the country. They have one from South Dakota, I think. They got Cyrus Allen from Texas A&M. They got Caleb Goody from Colorado State. They got Lindenwood, Jeff Caldwell from Lindenwood. So, I mean, they're coming from all over the country and meeting up on the field here today.
They also have no offensive line. So they lost 4 starters last year. They had a second-round NFL pick. Their center's their only returning starter. So that, again, it's like you got to keep coming back to this. Like, all right, he's lost 13 times in his career as a quarterback. He has 5 new starters on the offensive line. He's got 4 new wide receivers. He's got a brand new running back and, wide receivers he's never thrown to. And so put pressure on, that if you can't get blown off the ball by, total portal additions from Ball State and South Dakota, right? Those are the guys that they're bringing in. They're not bringing in Alabama guys, which we're bringing in Alabama guys in their, third string. That's how strong the pipeline is. So that'll be, I think that's, the main matchup there is like, he seems to be able to scramble and run. Now I've talked myself out of it. Like I watched all Sorsby's highlights and I was freaking out last night. I was like, shoot, he's good. But now I'm back. No offensive line, no wide receivers, no running backs. Okay, great.
They ran it well last year. I'm looking at our boy Brett Ciancia's pick 6 previews. Their explosive rush was 16th in the country. Their yards per carry, 5.2, was 20th in the country. Their rush offense was 36th overall. Their total offense was 421 yards per game at 36th overall. But their scoring offense was 25.2 points per game, 89th overall. So they weren't locking it down in the end zone. The last thing on Sorsby that I just like looking at his stats, his worst percentage completion of any 20-yard stretch on the field happens to be the red zone, which is a problem. So he's 45.6% completion in the red zone. He did throw 12 touchdowns, which is good, but 3 interceptions in the red zone as well. So and then on 4th down for him, he's 1 for 6 on 4th downs, minus 12 QBR. On 3rd and 7+ yards, he had a 2 touchdown and 4 interception ratio. So we got to just get him to 3rd and long. And then we'll put the clamps on, and I feel good about about the shirts, baby.
All right. Separate aside, what's your strategy for the game watch itself? It's an 8 p.m. game. Is it not?
Just get everybody. Just get all the kids to bed. Tell Becca to go have some fun with some friends somewhere. I would love for her to watch with me, but she does not want that.
But 8 p.m. is late. Like this game will end at midnight.
It's
I mean, do you take like 3 o'clock? Do we need a nap at 3? Do you take a 3 o'clock nap?
Yeah, I'll start hitting the calisthenics around 6:30, 7:30.
I haven't been up at midnight back up years. A little bit. That's not an hour that I. Not to mention,
there's nothing that like an evening time cup of coffee and a Celsius can't fix. You'll just be absolutely wired.
high levels of anxiety as I just pace around my
And then a
house until midnight.
couple beers to chase that with, and you're all of a sudden like everything's moving fast.
God, I just give me the win, because then like that trying to sleep from like 1 o'clock on after a loss is almost impossible. Like quite literally impossible. Even with a win, I mean, we're gonna be like buzzing. God, I don't know what direction this thing's gonna go.
Move to defense.
Positive vibes. Let's talk black shirts.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Only 10.
That was it's funny you said that. That's probably the main thing everybody commented on like Sean Callahan's post. It's like, where's the 11th? Like this,
I don't know.
This coaching staff can't count. I think we'll be all right. I think the 11th is coming. RVP wasn't even photoed, so like we'll be all right.
Zero white guys.
It's gonna be this.
Zero white guys. No Ty Robinson. Zero white guys.
So that's a positive. No more vanilla gorillas. Correct.
Until Riley gets it. No, I don't know. I enjoy when it comes out because it gives me confidence that we've got, players.
We've got some dudes. We've got some dudes. I mean, these are the guys that like. This is how Rule builds his programs. It's Elijah Judy finally like putting things together and becoming the starting force. Like a couple of them, we do have some plug and play transfers. Andrew Marshall getting one, Marcus Watson Trent, Hassan McCullough. Sierra Wright was a transfer and he's getting one too. But like, it's cool to see the guys that have been within the program and becoming the leaders on the team.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. I'm excited to see Lenhart. I'm excited to see. Singleton's is a big time leader. Hard Sox big time leader.
Javen Wright,
big time leader.
Javen Wright's been 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, the senior laden group back there: Buford, Hard Sox, Singleton, even Sierra. A lot of the D-backs is I think great. Did you end up watching that behind the scenes CBS thing, the Raiola plus like the secondary guys?
Yeah. We are old. It's like we speak a different language, but from what I understood, they all really like each other, which is all that matters to me.
For those not knowing what we're talking
about,
there's a fantastic behind the scenes roundtable discussion of Raiola and who were the other guys? They had Singleton in there. They had Sierra Wright. They had
like a lot of the secondary.
Emmett
Johnson came on.
Emmett Johnson. And they just chatted like it was literally just an open-ended conversation about football. But I was laughing, and Andrew and I were texting back and forth because they keep saying things like, "Yeah, no cap," and
no idea what that is.
No, just like, "Yo, cap, what's with the Mahomes thing, cap?" I'm like, "What's he keep saying cap for? What is that?"
I don't know.
And then that one's good. And then they don't call it swag anymore. What do they call it? The freaking drip. There it is. They said the word drip and cap like 80 times. Just like they had a conversation. They're like, "Hey, do you ever wear those Louis Vuitton shirts when you exercise?" I was like, "What are you saying? Are you out of your mind? A Louis Vuitton shirt when you exercise? Like, why do you not wear team issued gear?" Like, I'm just like watching this video. Like, what?
Yeah, you live a very different life than me. I don't even know where you get Louis Vuitton. I didn't even know they made exercise gear.
Your drip's sick. You got sick. Like, what kind of drip do you need for a game? I'm like, you guys don't need anything. You guys need to watch film and eat protein and then go play the game. You need to stop talking about your drip. It's not. I'm like the old man yelling at clouds. But
yeah, it's a new era.
Regardless, they seem to enjoy themselves. They seem close. The big feedback from it was like people are like, "Yeah, these guys. This is like the closest team we've had in a long time."
Yeah.
So that's seems to be the rule impact.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's pretty cool that they're taking the bus down as well. Like that's a nice you guys don't get to private plane everywhere. But then I heard they're taking the bus to the game from Lincoln, and then they're flying back.
That's good use of resources. It's great.
Okay, well that's not all bad for them, but
let's talk
I like it.
Cincy defense, and are we going to absolutely light up this defense? Please say yes. Oh wait, Todd. Wait, hang on. Breaking news from Todd here. Todd is saying the phrase "no cap" is derived from the slang term "capping," which means lying or exaggerating. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Legitimately had no idea what that was.
Just means
no cap.
It just means I'm not exaggerating. I think I'm like 8 years late on this.
No cap. Drip.
Good to know. Okay, well, no cap. Cincinnati's defense stinks.
Yeah.
So it's not their entire defense though. Their defensive line. The feature point is Dante Corleone, and that's who we're gonna have to handle. His nickname is the Godfather. And if you didn't think that's a problem, he is a 330-pound gorilla in the middle of their defense. He is an All-American, and he was an all Big 12 player the last few years. The interior of our offensive line is going to have their hands full with Dante Corleone. He's just like, I mean, nobody's ever going to be Sue, but like whatever like 2 notches below a Sue is Dante Corleone. Like he's the best NFL prospect on their team, and he's going to be a wrecking ball. And I recall Sue going absolutely crazy on defenses, and there's just you couldn't run it where he was. Like that was just the reality. So the answer is their secondary stinks. They lost, I think, 7 defensive backs. They gave up 32.8 points per game 2 years ago in the Big 12. And then they jumped it up to 25.7 last year, which is a little bit better than they were doing. They're going to run a 3-3-5 defense. Their defensive coordinator comes from Iowa. He has an Iowa State background. So they basically ended up average overall as a unit last year, but their pass defense was leaky. Big problem. And they lost both starting corners. They both lost 2 starting safeties. They lost 7 defensive backs in total. They're going to have a lot to replace, and the talent replacing them is, cheers to the Sun Belt. They got a cornerback from Coastal Carolina, Matthew McDoom. Pretty sick name. His last name's McDoom. I'll give him that one. But then they got guys from Middle Tennessee. They do have Christian Harrison from Tennessee as well. But they just gave up so many explosive plays last year, and that I think is like the main reason that I am confident in us winning the game is we got Dana Holgorsen. He knows how to hit them in their weak points. We got Rayola, we got Key, we got Hunter, we got Barney, we got tight ends. And we're going to have options, and I think we're going to be able to gash them where it hurts. It really, I think, is coming down to for our offense versus their defense. They're so bad in their back in their secondary that we just need to run the ball enough. I'm talking like 100 to 200 yards is enough in this game. Just enough to open things up for Rayola to kind of go to town and pick them apart. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you sold me.
7.7 yards per pass allowed last year, 97th in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I think this will be extremely exciting. I mean, I'm on both sides of this where I truly enjoy so much where we're at right now from personally where I'm at from a headspace standpoint where I've convinced myself that this is the 95 49ers with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. This is in my head, this is Brady to Randy Moss level of excitement. So I think if they're not that good, I'm going to be so shocked that wait, Dane Key is not Jeremiah Smith. I thought he kind of was. But I do think, I mean, it's that it will be fun and exciting to see all right, how many the Holgorsen offense, we kind of know what it is, but we don't really know what the full off season is like how many carries Emmett Johnson going to get, how is Rayola going to lean on Dane Key, how much is Barney going to get, how are we going to throw the outside, what are we going to do with Harburg? So I think yes, they've got, I'm not entirely concerned about their defense as a whole. Everything that you've mentioned is valid, but I think there's an element of they have no idea what's coming since we don't.
Yeah.
That, and it's oh, great, we can't run up the middle. We got Barney on the outside. Great, we can't run. We got, Dane Key deep. And I hope that offense is as exciting in my head as it's about to be. And if it is, it could be a boat race. But if it's not, we're in trouble.
No, I just think that I do not think this game will end up a blowout. But I do think that just in knowing how bad their secondary was last year, with such an advantage there, you can get the ball away from Corleone in the middle.
Right.
Just like the other Dave just commented on YouTube, swing passes, mesh concepts, over the top when they bite. I mean, that's exactly it. Like, swing it out to Barney. Screen pass to Emma Johnson, like, let him come through. That's fine. I just think that, like, most of our game plan is going to be around, like, how do we keep it away from Corleone? And if we're going to go up the middle, like, are we doubling him and trying to open up the lanes, up the gut as well? But
yeah,
I think we're going to try and spread them. That's kind of where I think we're at.
I think this is probably the best we've felt about the offensive line, which is all relative. Like, it hasn't been very good, but like, this is an offensive line that, as Holgerson said, I've never been 3 deep at tackle of guys I totally feel comfortable rotating in. So that's huge. And so, we've got experience across the O-line. We've got deep experience, ton of starting experience, big time transfers, Notre Dame and Alabama transfers, and just good players across the board that you would think coming in. I mean, then when you take a step back, it's like, all right, Rule, these are the games. You got to just bully these guys. This is not, this is a new age Big 12 team that's still finding its footing. He's in year 3, you're in year 3.
Right.
You got to just blow them off the ball. Absolutely blow them off the ball. And like, this is a game you got a game plan for. So, I feel good in that regard, because that's where it's like, you got to figure that the combination of these guys can dream up a pretty good offense against it. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the last advantage that I think we can have, can't forget about it, is for the first time in a while, I think we actually could have a big special teams advantage.
Yes.
Which, tell me if I'm going off into the deep end, but I was looking at Cincinnati punt return stats last year.
And?
They returned the ball less than us.
Oh, God.
We didn't do it at all. They returned the ball 9 times the entire season for a total of 42 yards. 9 punt returns. So, and I think that that's just one place where we can start winning the field position battle. Like, I think we can feel confident that Jacory's going to, he might want to break one and stuff himself. God, how cool would that be?
I mean, just even putting an effort forth, good grief. Like, just putting an effort forth would be step one.
Aggression. And I think we've got a kicker. Can't forget those kickers. They're people too. We got 3 kickers, really. So it's what we got.
Yeah, but what do you think? You think, what's his face? The new guy's going to be? I mean, Alvano's killing me. The fact that he's just 3rd string.
I mean, yeah, all the injuries, and then John Hull apparently working through injuries and stuff too. I think it's going to be Cunahan, but
Cunahan was named the starter, but
we got Archie booming balls.
Archie, both legs, both arms,
both arms, running the ball.
I just hope, my God, like, that kid needs so freaking bad to. He needs to catch that first snap and get it off.
Yeah,
because it could be so bad if he doesn't. Like,
right.
Because Rule has said on like a dozen different interviews, he's like, yeah, this kid has never seen a football game. He has never been to a football game.
He's like issuing a warning, like,
he has never watched a football game. And there's going to be 70,000 people at this game watching him, who's now a fan favorite. So they're actually going to be watching the punt. And if that thing just like sails through his hands and he punts into the stands, it's like, I don't know. Maybe the kid's like super resilient, but like, you got to get that first one off. I almost think it's like you got to punt on like 2nd down.
Aussie. Yeah, that's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a fun time. What is your final take on the score?
I mean, now that I'm like talking it through, I think we win by a few scores. I think we win by 21. I have plenty of concerns. 3 scores, 21. I think we cover the spread handily. I mean, I'm all over the place clearly, but now that we've worked through this, we've had this therapy session.
This was healthy.
I literally was just watching Sorsby highlights. I was like, oh, we're in so much trouble. And
Yeah.
and that was balanced with like not knowing we're
You
the
know,
youngest team in the Big Ten, and then but now working through the fact that they also have
you know,
0 players. That's really encouraging.
you gotta work through the lowlights. That's how you get back on track.
Where are you at?
30.
Over under 53. So that means like what's the Vegas?
I've got us at 30. I think we cracked the 30 to 24, which is I think that we're gonna give up probably a late touchdown or two. Hopefully it's comfortable and in hand. Obviously, like my brain is telling me, man, we could absolutely destroy this team, and they're just garbage sack of a pass defense. But man, when did we do that last year? Like prove me wrong that like this won't be a close game, and I will be so happy if you prove me wrong on that. But I think it's gonna be a close game until proven otherwise. If Vegas thinks so, then they must know at least a little bit.
Yeah, Vegas is saying 27-16 roughly, somewhere in there. At a 6.5 point spread over under at 53.5 or 54.5. So they're somewhere around 27-16 is where they think it's going to be. I'll take the win any way we can get it. Just freaking win. Like, I mean, the amount of people watching this game is going to be through the roof. I'm kind of glad it ends at midnight, so maybe not everybody will be like still hanging around.
No, yeah, I haven't even like considered the possibility of a loss. Like, and I normally don't until it's like the clock hits 0, even if we're down by 1,000. But like I would probably cry until we start playing Akron. I would cry until the tunnel walk of Akron.
Yeah, I mean, Pick Six Previews, our friend Brett Cianci is encouraging because he's thinking Cincinnati. Most people are picking us. I don't love when it like becomes totally universal that everybody's picking Nebraska. I kind of like to have like a little bit of like edge there. I just don't want the players to show up and thinking they're going to win. We got that. That's I'm feeling pretty good. You want to do some? Should we pick some other games?
Yeah, I mean,
what else you got on Cincy?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for the Skurs, baby. I could not be more excited. I still can't believe football's back. But I'll dabble in some of these other games. Give me Texas versus Ohio State.
Hang on, where's
2.5
pick
for Ohio
Just
State
pick them
right
in ESPN or Fantasy Yahoo.
Yahoo. Jesus, come on, Dave, figure it out.
I'll find it. I got somebody. I'm
2.5. Ohio State at the shoe.
I think Texas wins.
Wow, just like that, huh?
I just think Texas is like bringing back a lot, and Ohio State lost everybody.
Pretty loaded. Yeah, but Ohio State's got the best player in the country on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but they're starting Julian Sand, who's never played, but also it's Arch Manning's never played. I don't know. Wait, you think Ohio State's gonna win?
I do. I think the shoe is just like that's the one advantage. Who knows how Archie handles the pressure? Like, this is an absolutely huge game for him. And Ohio State has some absolute dudes that are back, and you just don't know about them quite yet, or nobody does. They've just been waiting in the weeds. They've got an absolute monster over there, and Julian Stam, he's getting some seriously high praise. I don't know if he'll be as good as Will Howard and whatever, but he has got some serious arm talent. So I'm going to stick with Ohio State there.
All right, let's see. Alabama minus 13.5 for Florida State.
Alabama.
Oh,
just
really?
gonna drag James Williams by his hair.
J-Dubs. You think Tony White just gets worked?
Just gonna stomp on his big dumb mouth on the way to the end zone. Yeah,
Tony White just gets abused in game 1.
Florida State loaded up. They have the number 1 transfer portal class. Like they went to town. They rated our coaching staff: Evan Cooper, Tony White, Terrence Knighton. They got James Williams. I don't know. They're Thomas Castellanos from BC he cannot throw the ball down the field, and he's definitely not going to be able to do it on Bama's secondary. So they're going to have their hands full with him. He's fast, but I don't know. I think Bama's Bama, and they're going to
13 and a half.
figure
You
that
think they just blow them out?
I kind of feel like this might be like an old-fashioned blowout, like Nick Saban style, when everyone was like, "Oh, that's a big opener, Labor Day weekend," and then they would just win by 40.
It's got
But
the
we'll
makings
see.
of it. The only thing is,
But
like, I mean,
Norvell's a
Tony.
good coach. They're
Well,
very
so does
solid.
Tony. I mean, Tony made quick work of our defense, and he went from
Yeah,
nothing to like.
I have
He
no
had
doubt
one
that
off season.
they should be better. They will be better than they were last year. There's no doubt about it. And they'll probably be a 7, 8, maybe 9-win team. But I think Bama's at a different point than them.
Okay. Clemson favored by 3.5 over the LSU Tigers at Clemson.
A big one. Who you got?
Saturday night at 6:30. I'm pretty high on Clemson this year, and I'm pretty low on Brian Kelly, exclusively based on the SEC documentary. Have you seen that?
Nope.
Oh, it's good. If anybody watching Netflix, got a pretty good behind the scenes on the SEC documentary, and Brian Kelly and LSU's in it. I just don't think his shtick is working down there. Is my take. Like, it just seems like it just doesn't seem authentic to the South. It doesn't seem authentic to LSU. It doesn't seem like he's got it going on. He's got Nussmeier coming back as a quarterback and some pretty good players coming back. But Dabo is like, the anti-transfer portal thing somehow is working for him. Yeah. And he just is building through high school recruiting. And now his entire team is like fifth-year seniors that he recruited from high school, which no one else has.
Yeah, they're pretty experienced.
He's pretty unanimous favorite to win the ACC right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cade Klubnik is an absolute stud in the making. So I'm also going to go with Clemson. Probably not going to take them to cover, but I'm not that confident because I think LSU is also potentially a playoff team this year.
Okay. Notre Dame, Miami. Notre Dame favored by 2.5. This is a Sunday night game at 6:30. Notre Dame favored by 2.5 over the Miami Hurricanes at Miami.
Yeah,
Carson Beck making his debut for the Hurricanes.
All recent history would probably say pick Notre Dame. However, I have a very long history of hating the hell out of Notre Dame, and I've never picked them ever. So why start now?
I do emotional
matching. Is good though. I think they have Miami's going to have a solid defense and stuff as well. I think they are going to be able to actually keep up and go kind of neck and neck with them. But Notre Dame's going to rely on the ground and pound, the run game. They have the best running back in the country, in Jeremiah Love. But yeah, I think Miami. I don't know why. I don't have better reasons other than Carson Beck might be the shot in the arm that they need, but I don't know. Cam Ward was pretty dang good too, and they also collapsed with him. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, this is Notre Dame basically starts with Miami, then they play Texas A&M, and then they don't play anyway the rest of the season. So if they win these two games, they will go 12-0.
These are big games
because their schedule is Army, Navy, and Arkansas, and like random teams the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame's going to win because I just think Miami is just. I don't think Miami has it together as a program. I think Carson Beck's okay. Yeah. He's nowhere near as good as Cam Ward, but we'll see. See, that's a good one. What are the other? A lot of these other ones, like Michigan plays New Mexico, it's lame. A&M and UTSA, it's lame. K-State. Any other good ones? Everybody else is like 40-point games. What are the Big Ten games?
Yeah. Thursday night Minnesota game is maybe interesting or something, but no, I don't even know who they play. I'm too focused on our own game. So who cares? Rutgers versus Ohio. God, give me Ohio to cover, whatever that is. I am not high on Rutgers this year. Minnesota versus Buffalo. Never mind. Not an interesting game. Minnesota wins that one. Wisconsin plays Miami of Ohio Thursday night at 8. Wisconsin better win that one because their schedule is not getting easier from there. That's going to stink.
Who do they have?
They got Miami of Ohio.
Ooh. I don't know. Miami of Ohio's pretty good.
Who knows? No, I think they should be able to handle them. Oregon's got Montana State. That should be just fine. That should be over by 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Although Montana State had some scrappy squads recently. Anyway, we're rambling.
Okay.
We're good.
We're rambling. We had 1,300 join us. Appreciate everybody for joining. We had thanks to ABC King, we're not big on YouTube right now. He said we had 11 on YouTube and 1,100 on Twitter live right now. We're just big on Twitter. We've been on Twitter for a long time. We've really never done anything on YouTube, but maybe we'll start getting some stuff going.
Yeah.
I historically don't have the emotional maturity to do post-game conferences or any sort of like thing right after that. I need like 3 days to like calm down, but maybe we'll get some of that going. Any parting shots here before we head into game week?
No, I think just enjoy it and do your best to be kind to Cincy fans. They're going through a lot right now. They're heading down into a dark place, I feel, especially if they lose this one, and especially if we win in the fashion that many fans think we can win. So just, take a minute to let them cry it out a little bit, be there for them, and
I don't think I don't think they exist. There's just like none out there. But
just enjoy that. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
That'd be such a cool game, man. I mean, it really is. Like Arrowhead, are you kidding me? Full of Nebraska fans. That's just going to be awesome.
It'll be very, very cool. I do think this is the year. I'm at 10-2 still until I've proven otherwise. And you can't go 10-2 if you lose to Cincinnati. So we got to win this one.
Well, I mean, you could
theoretically, but that would mean you're literally winning every game the rest of the season.
Almost.
Yeah, that means you're running the table. All right, everybody, thank you for joining. Go Huskers. Enjoy the game on Thursday.